So let's talk about a cultural phenomenon that pretty much took over Hollywood and, let's be real, the entire internet. We're diving into the relationship between Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. And trust me, this is way more than just another celebrity romance. It's a masterclass in modern fame, branding, and the incredible power of public perception.
Okay, so just think about this for a second. On one side, you've got this acclaimed actor, right? The darling of indie cinema. And on the other, a reality TV queen, a beauty mogul from literally one of the most famous families on the planet. Which brings us to the big question we're tackling today. How on earth did this duo, maybe the most unlikely pairing in recent memory, become the couple everyone is talking about?
You know, to really wrap your head around why this whole thing felt so out of left field, we got to look at the two completely different worlds they came from. Seriously, this wasn't just two famous people getting together. It was like a collision of two totally separate pop culture universes.
I mean, the contrast here is just wild. Timothée Chalamet's whole vibe was built on critical acclaim, that high-fashion, indie movie credibility. Then you have Kylie Jenner. She's pure pop culture royalty, a social media titan who built a billion-dollar beauty brand with the whole world watching. On paper, their brands were polar opposites, which is exactly why those first whispers of them dating were met with a whole lot of, wait, really?
So how did this all actually go down? Let's walk through the timeline, from the very first rumors to those huge public moments. This is the story of how a private little secret turned into a full-blown global spectacle. All right, so this timeline really gives us the bird's-eye view. It all kicks off pretty low-key at Paris Fashion Week in early 2023. By spring, paparazzi shots are adding fuel to the fire. But the real game changer, September 2023, that's when they basically went, okay, world, it's happening. And from there, it just escalated, from casual dates to major red carpets, and finally Timothy's very public declarations of love in 2026.
But in the beginning, they were super careful. You had all these sources saying things were casual, that they were just getting to know each other. And it sounds like Kylie especially really wanted to keep things private and avoid that intense media storm that followed her past relationships.
And then we hit the turning points. Honestly, the floodgates didn't just open, they blew right off the hinges at Beyoncé's Renaissance tour. That viral video of them together, it was undeniable. A few days later, they show up at the US Open, officially photographed. But the real power move? Showing up to a premiere in matching orange leather. Come on, that's not just a fashion choice, that's a statement.
And just when you thought it couldn't get more public, we get this. This was the checkmate. During his acceptance speech, Timothée doesn't just thank Kylie, he calls her his foundation. And then the cameras cut to her in the crowd, mouthing, "I love you too." I mean, that was it. A huge public moment that pretty much silenced anyone who still had doubts.
But as this whole romance was playing out for the world to see, something else was bubbling up just beneath the surface. And that was the intense, and let's be honest, often furious, reaction from some of Timothy's most dedicated fans. Okay, to really get what happened next, we have to talk about this term, a parasocial relationship. It's basically when a fan feels like they have a real personal connection with a celebrity who, has no idea they even exist. This whole idea is absolutely key to understanding why some fans felt so possessive over Timothy's personal life. And right at the heart of this online storm was Simone Cromer, a 59-year-old woman who runs the huge fan account Club Chalamet. She sort of became the unofficial voice for this part of the fan base that was just not having it. They saw the relationship as a betrayal of his whole artistic indie brand. And this is where things get, well, kind of weird and honestly unforgettable. The criticism hit its peak and became an instant meme when Cromer questioned the relationship because they'd never been seen at an Olive Garden. It sounds ridiculous, and it is, but it perfectly captured just how bizarrely personal and specific the fan backlash was getting. Okay, so we've got the romance, we've got the fan drama, but there's a whole other layer to this story that's all about business. So let's get into why this romance isn't just a romance, it's also a seriously powerful strategic move. To really see the business side, we gotta talk about brand equity. The simplest way to think about it is the value a name has in your head. For celebrities, their name is their brand, and a huge relationship is one of the biggest moves you can make. One that can either supercharge that value or totally sink it.
And this is where it all clicks into place, thanks to this quote from relationship psychologist Dr. Kathy Nickerson. She says we have to remember, they aren't just people, they are also brands. Their relationship becomes a huge part of their story, and that story has a direct impact on everything from public trust to landing major business deals.
So think about it. When a celebrity relationship looks really stable and loving, like it did in those award show moments, it creates this positive glow around both of them. It makes the public feel good, it makes sponsors feel way more comfortable investing in them, and ultimately, it strengthens the brands of both Kylie and Timothée. All that unpredictability is replaced by a feeling of security.
This table kind of breaks it all down. Look at something like attractiveness. And here, that means being part of a desirable, successful couple. It has a huge impact on brand loyalty. When Kylie and Timothée show up looking like a solid, happy couple, they're projecting this image of competence and desirability. And for brands, and for us, that translates into trust.
So where does this all lead? What's the next chapter for this power couple? Well, as their relationship has gotten more serious, it's starting to look like something way bigger than just a romance. We could be watching the creation of a brand new kind of Hollywood dynasty.
Lately, we've seen a real shift. After all that awards season spectacle, things have settled into this more low-key, lived-in vibe. They're spotted at a basketball podcast taping, just looking like a normal couple on a date night. It's this really interesting balance to their super high glamour public life, and it shows a level of comfort and stability. And if you need any more proof that this is getting serious, look no further than the ultimate matriarch, Kris Jenner. She started popping up in the comments on Timothée's mom's Instagram. And of course, the media went nuts, calling it the soft launch of a dynasty crossover. You know when Kris Jenner gets involved, it's not just personal anymore. It's a potential brand alliance.
Which really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. The story of Kylie has shown us what happens when two massive but totally different brands join forces. They can create something even bigger. So it makes you wonder, in this world where every single public figure is a carefully managed brand, is the power couple the ultimate collaboration?